Hello, welcome to This Week in Japan. I'm the Gaijin John.
And I've just got my first shot.
Yay, how's he doing? How's the Geek Tom doing?
We're recording this late, so not great. But I'm healthy, at the very least.
Yeah, I was wondering, I wonder whether Thomas is dead. Oh, no, he did just get the first vaccine. Oh.
But we're still here. The things we do for you, we soldier on.
I just stay up late. That's all I do.
You gotta teach kids in the morning. You're doing even worse than I am.
10 o'clock on a school night? How dare I? Setting a bad example for my high school kids. But anyway, this podcast is where we bring you all the local news from all around Japan and bring it directly to you in like a little box. Note, the box is extra.
Geeks&Gaijin does not come with free shipping.
Well, this week, if you choose express shipping, we have Pikachu flying type. We have an update on the crime you did not expect an update from.
Oh, no.
Some Lou-related crimes. Some sweet rice balls. Pancakes and Suga together at last, with added censorship. And also, maybe the Emperor is going to take on the Olympic Games.
Doubt.
And to start off with everything, we have Cute Corner.
Aww.
The wonderful part of the show in which we can forget the problems that then come in the half an hour following it. And this, Thomas, is a new aeroplane in Japan, which... It's adorable. It's covered in Pikachus.
Oh my, it is very yellow.
This is a Pikachu jet organised by Skymark Airlines, who I've never flown with. They're a low-cost carrier in Japan. But they have it's a bloody jet plane, like a passenger jet covered, like, bright yellow, covered in Pikachus. And the outside is so cute. It has 5 Pikachus. They all have balloons tied to them to explain why they're flying. Oh. And then inside, your little like headrest has a little Pikachu with balloons on it. The air hosts.
Oh.
The air hosts and hostesses have really ugly Pikachu-based uniforms.
Yeah, that oof.
Yeah, big oof right there. But also, the in-flight refreshment service would not be complete without a Pikachu cup and a flying Pikachu Kit Kat.
You can do it, Pikachu.
Pikachu learned fly.
Oh. Well, wasn't expecting that today. Apparently Pikachu's been watching Up.
Yeah, by the way, this is not going to be a snack break. I am not buying a flight ticket. I am not buying an airplane ticket specifically for this podcast. Oh and
God.
Also...
We've just seen the terminal.
There's a pre-flight, like, check-in terminal that is all Pikachu covered. There was even a big ceremony with a Pikachu in a pilot's costume.
That is fantastic. That is just the best thing I've ever seen.
And of course there are dancing Pikachu. You can find this video. It'll be linked in the description.
God. Every time the Pokemon Company marches out their dancing Pokemon mascots, it's just the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Apart from this flight, because the interior, apart from the Pikachu decorations on the headrests, is like entirely cream on the inside. It is the most beige thing I've ever seen, and it just does not compute with how brightly coloured everything else in this article is. Like, they didn't even try. I don't think I wanted the interior to be Pikachu coloured, but, like, at least the uniforms are, like, a blue to contrast with the yellow, whilst the inside is just the dullest the interior is just so... It's
Yeah.
It's ugly as
Yeah.
hell.
But where, Thomas, I hear you shout, where? Where do I have to fly with Pikachu?
I'm still on the interiors, mate, but carry on.
It will be connecting Tokyo's Haneda Airport to Okinawa. So you can fly all the way to the warm place in Okinawa from Tokyo. So it's actually very likely, if you come on holiday to Japan to visit Okinawa, you might go on the Pikachu jet. Because Haneda is the main Tokyo airport in which you do domestic connections. It will also be flying to Ibaraki, Nagoya, Kobe, and Fukuoka. So all across Japan, but not where I live, because I live in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
So there's no chance you'll be flying Pikachu Airlines on the way home then, John?
No, I won't. I won't get to see these ghastly uniforms in person.
It looked like something out of a children's TV show, which I guess is appropriate for Pokemon, but Jesus Christ, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
I might fly them when I come back to Japan because they are set to run for the next 5 years. So maybe you two at home could fly in a Pikachu-based jumbo jet. Also, there is one bit of detail that I absolutely love, which is when they zoom in on the jet in the video, they have like some of like the window covers down, and they have little Pikachus on the outside of the window covers.
Oh my god!
And one of them is sleeping.
Oh my god.
Okay, that I don't think that's the actual inside of the covers. I think that might just be the outside of the plane. But it has a little sleeping Pikachu on it. It's great.
They just kept going. They just kept adding as much Pikachu as physically possible.
I need more. More Pikachu. But sir, I'm giving her all she's got. We can't fit in any more Pikachu. There's not a Pichu's worth of space left. I need one more Pikachu.
You cannot deny the laws of physics, Captain. This is fucking Pokemon. They just spontaneously generate electricity. Of course we fucking can.
The Pikachu is flying using balloons. Don't talk to me about physics. But yes, that is our cute corner, a jet, which I really kind of love.
Oh, the Pokemon Company seals its clutches on our hearts once again.
Yeah, Pikachu jets, flying Pikachu.
Oh god, he's in an adorable little summer shirt. God damn.
There's entire buses covered in our little flying Pikachu. They have Pikachu in a little like Hawaiian shirt for being in Okinawa. Yeah, this is an entire like tourism like punt. Goods I can buy Pikachu good. This is an entire flyingpikachu.jp. If you want your Pikachu goods, this is where you can get them. How much for a keychain?
You gotta wonder what exactly the executives at the Pokemon Company are doing with their IP. Where it's like, you know what? We don't need to do this, but let's just slap Pikachu on a plane because we can. We've got more money than God. Let's do it.
I mean, Thomas, don't you want a Pikachu, a flying Pikachu branded handheld fan?
More than any human being can know, John. Although I would also like a Rotom version because that's Pokemon's thing.
Or a Pikachu plastic bottle holder. Or perhaps a Pikachu bow.
Adorable. Simply adorable.
Or maybe a Pikachu-based dessert, which I don't know where this is.
You know what, Pikachu, you crazy bastard? I have no idea what this has to do with you in any way, but I'm down. I'm just down. I've been psychologically destroyed by the Pokemon Company, and now I will just accept anything with a cute yellow mouse slapped on it.
Yeah, this is basically to promote tourism to Okinawa. So go to Okinawa when you can. When it is alright. But what doesn't happen in Okinawa is crime. Well, I'm sure it does. It happens all over Japan.
Sorry, what?
I don't know what you just said, but sure.
Yeah, sure.
But what does happen all over Japan is crime in our crime corner, where we bring you the silliest and maybe most relevant crime in Japan, for me at least. If you do remember Okinawa can be involved in crime. Well, we never established if it was a crime, but a couple of months ago we did talk about the people offering a job just to fly direct to Okinawa to get a, like, spam onigiri and fly it back to Tokyo.
There's more to this story, John. Please don't tell me there's more to this story.
No, there's not more to this story. It's
Okay,
just
thank
relevant
God.
because it's just relevant to Okinawa. But the story that there is more to is the story from last week in which an unknown man stopped another unknown man who was found in a high school having stolen and using a high school girl's sailor suit uniform.
I'm going to be honest with you, John. I would have been happy never to have heard about this ever again. And I'm very disappointed in you for bringing this up.
Well, but it solved the mystery.
Oh,
it has
good.
solved the mystery of who the second man is. So,
Well, that is important information.
a summary of the case. This comes from Tokyo Reporter. In Wakayama, a 55-year-old man who is an ex-banker... I will just say, this is a great first line. A 55-year-old man living in Wakayama, his fetish for schoolgirl-related items has proved to be his undoing. Again. At about 9:30 p.m. on June 15, the man, an office worker and ex-banker, broke into a public high school and stole a sailor-style school uniform. He then put on the uniform. He remained on the premise for several hours, we don't know what, but then at some time after 2 a.m. the next day, he entered a school restroom and encountered a man in his 30s. The second man then apprehended the man dressed in the high school girl's uniform and called the police. Upon the arrest, the man in the uniform admitted to allegations of theft and trespassing. However, where did this second man come from? This mysterious second man, which we couldn't ascertain in the latest police report, because it just said, a man from the city. But apparently, at 2 a.m., the second man entered an open school gate in search of a place to rest after feeling ill while walking by outside. Second guy was pissed, Thomas. He was absolutely pissed.
Oh, man, that must have been a bit of a shock.
And when he rushed into the bathroom, he encountered the man dressed in a sailor suit.
That must have been like an interesting 5 seconds of him going, am I that drunk? Am I that pissed? And do I need to reconsider all my life choices? And luckily for him, not today.
The man in the sailor suit then made a run for it, dashing out of the restroom. He was then chased by the second man, perhaps in a kind of Alice in Wonderland level twist of like, no, I must find out more. I have questions.
You're a braver man than I am, drunk bastard, for God's sake.
By the way, there's nothing in this article that intends he was drunk. This is entirely my own. Speculation.
What else are you doing at 2 a.m. in the morning that makes you wander into a school, which is basically, the same trespassing thing that the other guy broke? Like, come on.
But another interesting thing, by the time the second man had located the schoolgirl guy, that guy had managed to change out of the uniform into his original shirt and slacks. So
what?
This schoolgirl uniform guy is a quick change master.
Oh, I see.
And the police did say, Thomas, though, you're right, about the second man, that the man who made the police call also trespassed, but we will handle that after hearing from the school. So I assume the school will have
to decide whether it presses charges.
Yeah. Whether this is extenuating circumstances.
You know what?
However,
we'll let you off because you found a real fucking creep lurking around the school.
However, this is not the first time this creep has done this.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I want to know what the hell you're talking about, John. What is going on?
This man appears to have an unnatural attraction to gym clothes as well, because in 2010, police accused him of breaking into this same school 5 times.
Oh God!
During that time, he apparently, between 2005 and 2009, he stole 11 items, including gym clothes and yearbooks. And at that time, he was deputy sales manager at a bank. And apparently he also, after stealing the PE kits, which are apparently left in carrier bags that hung off the sides of the desks after class, that the bags were mysteriously returned several months after the thefts.
Why? God. Ugh.
For those cases, he was handed a 3-year prison term, but that was suspended for 4 years, which, if you don't know, means he wouldn't serve any prison time unless he was caught again, in which case the suspended sentence doesn't go away. However, that was in 2010, so it doesn't look like this suspended sentence will still apply.
Yeah, it's a bit of a while since the last time he was caught.
And at that time, a quote from the article, the court pointed out the possibility of the man suffering a relapse. Which he might have done.
I mean, originally he was discovered to have broken into the school at least 5 times, and the only reason he was caught this time breaking into the same school was because there was a random human being who shouldn't have been there either wandering around. So this probably isn't the first time he's broken back into the school, even.
Can buildings get restraining orders? That was terrifying. However, now time for crimes done by ex-policemen. Because they say that perhaps police, they know how to get away with the crimes, Thomas. That's why it makes them the best criminals.
It's called joining the police force. Yes.
Well, this one, he obviously got away with this because he was not prosecuted. And that is the news, that an ex-police chief has not been prosecuted over a drunken theft of 5 rolls of toilet paper. So this is a man who, on May 29th, allegedly stole 5 rolls of toilet paper, valued at about 170 yen. So that's about $1.50 or a quid. He stole it from a toilet inside a shopping mall near a station. And so earlier this month, after this was found out, the man was handed a 1-month pay cut. However, he resigned the same day. And on Thursday, the prosecutors have announced they will not prosecute him. So I guess that's what you get for being a policeman.
5 free rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah, your only crime, stealing toilet paper, and you resign your job. I will say that based on the result of an examination into the severity of the crime and the circumstances afterwards, prosecution was postponed. The best thing was, the incident occurred whilst the man was returning to his official residence after drinking at his private home and a convenience store parking lot. The man said that he has a chronic illness, and so that after drinking, he became worried about when he would be able to return home, and stole the toilet paper. However, even more, this might be a serial toilet paper thief. Or maybe just he buys toilet paper from there. Investigators searched his residence and found 13! Count 'em, 13 rolls of toilet paper from the shopping mall toilet!
I mean, that's a normal amount of toilet papers to have bought in a pack, I guess. But also, the man stole like 5 at once. Why would you ever need 5 rolls of toilet paper all at once, mate? Control yourself.
He's a 60-year-old man who has an alcohol problem, so...
How much toilet paper does he get through then?
They don't show this in, like, the hard-boiled, grizzled crime moments. A 60-year-old police chief.
Christ.
He's got a drinking problem. He's had so many hard days on the force. Can't a man steal toilet paper in peace? Oh,
what the hell?
This is the world we live in. Anyway, this week's snack break.
Oh, wow, that looks delicious.
It's a Hanami Dango! Woo! You can find a picture of this on Instagram at the Gaijin John, because I'm actually uploading them. Woo! This is the only way I can describe it. It's one of those emojis that you see so much of, which is the little pink blob, the little white blob, and the little green blob, and then it's on a stick.
It's a traffic light on a stick.
Yeah, this is kind of supposed to be a Hanami thing, so a spring thing for cherry blossom viewing, but this is just a cheap one I got in a store. So I have eaten them before, but they're mochi, so they're just glutinous rice and sugar. Now, I don't think that they taste like any different, the colours taste any different, but there's only one way to find out. Itadakimasu. Oh. That has absolutely no flavour whatsoever.
Oh, no! What's it usually taste like, John? You've had these before.
Well, they do. The thing is, with mochi and stuff, they're usually they're glutinous rice flour and sugary. So usually they have some kind of flavour, or even if they're like this, they have a syrup, or they're sweet and like the texture is nice. This is quite a cheap one, so the texture is just glutinous rice flour. And so the thing is, when you get mochi and stuff, you can get cheap stuff, but generally you want to buy the expensive, nice stuff. This is something I bought like a 3-pack of in a store. It's not good. I'll eat the next blob, but they'll all taste the same. It's just vaguely sweet rice flour. Like, I'm not saying it's not pleasant, because it is. It's just sweet and chewy rice. But it's something that you expect more of. And usually, my personal favourites are the ones like the daifuku, which means that there's something inside it. Those are the best. Those can have like fruit and stuff inside them. They're so good. Like even ones you get from like 7-Eleven are good, but these they're just rice balls on a stick. It's the problem of, it's the rule of pretty foods. The prettier the food looks, the higher a chances it tastes of absolutely nothing. That's Hanami Dango, the pretty but disappointing snack.
Oh well, there's always next time.
They are quite a job to eat as well, I will say. But now, quickly, update on Tokyo. Tokyo's still f***ed. This is the Japan coronavirus situation. Tokyo has just left its state of emergency. However, the State Minister of Economic Revitalization has just said that it's likely they will enter another state of emergency if they need it. Yeah.
Well, you would hope so. You would hope that in the situation where there's another breakout, they would go back into an emergency lockdown instead of just, okay.
They're all talking about quasi emergency.
Oh, shut up,
Japan.
Or quasi.
Look after your goddamn citizens.
No. How dare
Apparently
you foreigners
not.
tell us? How dare you foreigners tell us to treat our citizens like human beings? However, some people do criticize Japanese politicians, and these include a movie distribution firm that has been silenced by Twitter.
Oh, shut up. I don't want to hear what they have to say already, John. I mean, I'm usually on board with anyone criticizing the Japanese government, but just shut up about being silenced on Twitter. Just shut up about it. Just no one cares.
I think this is more them just trying to get like awareness for their film, which makes sense.
The only reason anyone ever says they're silenced on Twitter is to get awareness about something they're selling, John. That's just how it works.
But this one has a really cool name.
Tell me what the really cool name is, John.
So quickly, this is the official account for a soon-to-be-released documentary film that criticizes and scrutinizes the politics and career of Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga. And their Twitter account was temporarily frozen from the 24th to the 25th of June. The title of the film in Japanese is Pankeiki wo Dokumi Suru, which roughly translates to, according to the article, taste the pancakes for poison.
Interesting. Okay.
Following a reference to Suga's favourite food and the practice of tasting food to make sure it's safe to eat.
Oh, okay. That's the connection there. Is that pancakes are Suga's favourite food? Okay.
So, and it's due to be released on July 30th, in the middle of the Olympics.
Perfect. I love the shade. Keep it up.
This is why I kind of wanted to talk about the film. It sounds really interesting. The film's distributor felt so. This is a corporation fighting another corporation. This is not like the individual calling it out. Felt that the account's temporary closure was politically motivated, and it would be a huge problem. So according to the distributor, on 7 a.m. on June 24th, an employee realised the account had been frozen. They sent an email to Twitter, and they managed to get it back the next day at 3 a.m. But apparently the account was frozen due to repeated violation of Twitter's rules, which I don't know what that was.
Twitter doesn't know what their own rules are either. Don't worry about it.
5 hours later, it had been lifted. However, the follower account had been reduced to 0, but it was back later that day. So yes, this is Twitter ban. The thing is, when you ban stuff, it's really not good to especially when you temporarily ban stuff, which just says, "Oh, we kind of fucked up, guys." It's not great to It's not great to ban upcoming critical documentaries of politicians. And this is not just a random documentary either. This is not Japanese Alex Jones. This documentary specifically includes Shigeru Ishiba, who ran against Suga for the leadership contest, multiple former ministers and vice ministers, mostly to do with alleged favoritism, one part to do in establishment of a veterinary school. The titular pancakes are apparently a reference to an event where Suga and a political journalist ate pancakes at an informal meeting.
Wow.
So the reason Twitter gave for freezing the account was that the account engaged in spam or is clearly fake, or that it presents potential security risks to the user. So I think Twitter claims it was hacked. Because who can disagree with the Japanese government?
The Japanese, for one.
So basically, they're not saying that this is politically motivated, but they're saying if. It's all big if.
It looks shady, but it might just be Twitter fucking up, as Twitter is wont to do.
Especially because there are elections and things.
Oh boy, looking forward to that. Let's see how low Suga's party can go without actually losing control of the country.
By the way, their official Twitter account is @pancake_movie. That is a hell of an app.
Sick.
Well, we will keep you updated on movies that almost definitely will not be getting English subtitles. So, I better get my Japanese better much faster.
Clock's ticking, John. How much longer have you got before that's just unlikely to come up again?
Well, the movie comes out in a month. I'm not going to be able to get that much better in a month, but I'm going to keep on. I'm going to keep on learning in the UK. I'm not going to just stop learning Japanese. And then finally,
Good. Stick to your principles, John.
there's one man who will never stop learning Japanese because he is the Japanese. It's the Emperor. Is Emperor Naruhito.
How is our messy little boy doing?
Well, this 50-year-old man.
Our problematic fave.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He's being more problematic recently by implying that coronavirus is a thing, which is obviously against.
Oh man.
Which is obviously against the Japanese government. So basically, this is in the news because of a couple of reasons, and this is going to be very strange for Americans listening to us or any country that has grown up enough to not have a hereditary monarch. So,
I mean, the Americans almost tried a year ago, so don't give them too much credit.
So it was leaked recently by a member of the Imperial Household staff that. This quote being, "From what I gather, the Emperor is concerned about holding the Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Games, for which he serves as honorary president, while people are voicing anxiety over whether it will lead to spread of infections." The member of the household then urged organisers and related organisations to work in cooperation and take all possible infection. Yeah. So, specifically, this man has said, I think that this is what the Emperor thinks, but I've never heard the Emperor directly say such things. Now, this is important. Why, Thomas, do you think it's important?
I don't know, John. Why would guessing what the Emperor wants ever be important instead of just listening to the goddamn man voice his own opinion?
Well, specifically, what Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga said the next day is that he understands that the man who said this is expressing his own view. Not Suga's view, the man's view. AKA
the man's view.
AKA not the view of the Emperor.
He's speaking blasphemy. He's taking the Emperor's name in vain.
Well, what we've got here is a possible conflict with the Article 4 of the Japanese Constitution.
Oh boy, everybody loves Article 4.
Not that Article 4, Thomas. Well, this one states that the Emperor only conducts state acts and bans his involvement in politics. So the
Oh god, that's a terribly worded line. Oh god,
I know, but
that's gonna make so many headaches for everyone involved.
I hope it's
God,
I hope it's better written in Japanese. But basically, the idea is the monarch can't state their political opinion on something. You'll remember in the UK where Prince Charles got like a huge banging for like possibly having an opinion about things and influencing people with his opinion, because the whole point of being like the king and or queen is you look pretty, you don't voice your opinion, because that's not okay.
You're there as our emotional support monarch and nothing else.
Yeah. So, the Chief Cabinet Secretary...
Unless you're saying something racist.
...says that this person expressed an opinion of their own, and they do not see a problem in relation to the Constitution. However, an associate professor of history at Nagoya University said that the man's remarks definitely reflect the thoughts of the Emperor. So, there then becomes an argument here of, A, is this talk technically political? Which I suppose it is, but...
These damn SJWs bringing their politics into my monarchy. How dare they? Not everything's political, guys. Especially not my wholly appointed God King.
basically the Emperor is possibly trying to cover his skin, because this is something that's been done before, where, like, a member of their household has gone, I think the Emperor thinks this. The Emperor didn't tell me that. The Emperor just wrote it down on a big piece of paper and said, I don't think this.
I've just been reading the Emperor's diary, and this is what he says.
This is what...
He doesn't know I've been reading it, though, so shh.
So basically the Emperor is maybe going like, oh, well, I'm going to have to appear at the opening games, but this is really dumb and I don't want people to die.
Oh, man, you know that the Japanese government have backed him into a corner when he actually has to express an opinion in some capacity.
However, the Japanese opposition are also finding huge problems with this. Because technically the right wing aren't finding any problems with this. They're just having problems with what he's saying. But the Japanese opposition are having a huge problem with the fact that he's saying anything. Another professor at Hitotsubashi University, who specialises in political science, calls the comments very dangerous and they undermine popular sovereignty. Yeah, basically, so also some members of the opposition in Japan have stated that basically this crosses the bound of the constitution, which stipulates the emperor has no political authority. So basically, there's another side of it that's basically going, emperor shouldn't be saying anything. I don't think we should be having an emperor anyway, but also they shouldn't be saying anything, regardless. And so I'm sitting here thinking, well, I kind of agree with column A, but I kind of agree with column B. The thing that I always come up with is, can you imagine if the emperor was saying the opposite? Can you imagine if the emperor was like expressing possibly through an advisor that COVID is not real?
Well, the opposition's standpoint would probably be the same, which is shut the up, and the main establishment would be like, see, this guy's on our side, no big deal.
Well, no.
So,
no. I think
one of them sticking.
I think they'd say exactly the same thing either. It's the individual's view. It's not the emperor's view. Please ignore him. Please ignore him.
Pay no attention to the emperor behind the curtain.
Yes. So I do think this is a really interesting problem, and I have no idea what the solution is because I'm not an expert in Japanese political or emperor law. All I know is I'd kind of hate the Queen if she came out and goes, you know what, we should hunt the poor. But that has been...
I mean, unfortunately, John, we just haven't ever had a solution to the problem of what to do with monarchs. Not once in the entire history of England have we ever not had a monarch at all, ever. 100% sure about that. So there's absolutely no way to know how to handle the situation. We definitely have never done anything to a monarch that meant that there wasn't one for a period of time.
I feel like the Irish would like to have a word with you about...
I feel like the Roundheads would like to have a word with me about that as well, John.
Yeah, I think the Irish specifically about the leader of the Roundheads. Cromwell is not a popular man.
There's no winning for the Irish, is there, John?
There's no winning for any of us, Thomas.
I don't know. How are the French doing? I feel like they had a good idea at one point.
It's not going great for Macron at the moment, but we have gone, which I'm not sure whether I'm happy or sad about. But it's not doing great for Le Pen, so that makes me happy. But this is not a French podcast. Désolé. Let us move on to the end of the show. Très bien. Oui. I dropped French when I was 11.
You can't make me learn French. I absolutely refuse. The school education system tried for like a solid 6 years, and I rejected them every time. And I feel comfortable in my ignorance now of not knowing any French.
Oui.
What was that, John?
Wee-hee! That was Thomas. Where can our listeners find us if they want to look at our socials and things?
Well, the podcast itself, which comes out every Thursday around 3 p.m. UK time, is up on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, I think. I don't know what that is. And we also have a YouTube video, which is basically the same thing. And some other podcast places. I think it's up on a Japanese site now, but I don't know how to pronounce that. So hello Japanese people listening to this, or people in Japan listening to this, one or the other. Who knows what's going on
Konnichiwa.
anymore? Yes, talk to John. I don't know what's going on.
Hi.
We also have a Facebook page and Twitter page, which will let you know whenever the podcast goes up and if we're doing anything else. Those are Geeks and Gaijins. And John, as he said, has his Instagram,
Which is
the Gaijin John,
the Gaijin John, where
where you go for all his snack breaks.
yeah, which I'm actually uploading now. He promised.
Way, and he has his own Twitter as well, which is also the Gaijin John.
No, it's at John Comby.
That one.
I'm very professional.
Also a good handle, succinct, to the point.
Exactly, and you can also find us occasionally on Twitch, where we do stream occasionally, with emphasis on occasionally, when I'm not moving countries.
Yes. Unfortunately, there's always one social media that's going to be down the pipes, and John started uploading to his Instagram, so obviously the Twitch has to go. So we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll remove like the Facebook at one point, and then we'll start streaming again. We'll figure it out.
Who knows?
Who knows? We don't, and we're running the show, so there's no way you can possibly know unless you're a time traveler from the future.
Ooh, that's exciting.
In which case, I ask, what are you doing? You have the ability to travel through time. Why are you listening to this podcast? It's still available in the future, unless it's not.
We are the remnants of all knowledge. Oh God, that's terrifying.
Somehow, the rest of the internet was scrubbed, but this podcast survived because we put it on, I don't know, tape or something, because we've just really wanted to keep a hot copy of it.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. It's sitting there on Laserdisc.
It's that Cowboy Bebop episode where they have to find a video master, whatever the heck it was, to find important information. But it's this podcast.
It's on HD DVD. Does anyone remember that? They sold them at the same time as Blu-ray was becoming a thing. You could get the DVDs in like two things. You can get it Blu-ray or HD DVD. One of those was a thing.
Anyway, is there anything I forgot in all that madness to cover, John, or did we get it all somehow?
You can always email us at geeksandgaijins@gmail.com. Link can be found in the description.
That one.
But yeah.
Unless you're listening to this in the future, in which case John and I are both probably dead.
Thomas, you know technically when this is released, it will be the future. We're not dying between now and Thursday.
Hey, the future is any time between in 5 minutes and the rest of the universe's existence, John. I'm just covering the majority of the base we have here, which is most of existence we will be dead for.
Point well taken. And we'll see everyone next week. Or in the future, the next universe, I don't know.
Future, John. Future.
But we will be in Japan. Hi. Why are we both waving? This is an audio podcast.
Stars.